What's up, guys? Hani here from Luxury Gaming, and I'm joined with Nesh,
Oh,
and we're gonna go ahead and commentate over top 8 of LCS 11. So, with that said, let's hop right into it. So it looks like Jude goes ahead and wins RPS, and Jude opens Ash Blossom, Cursed Eldland, Haquero, Droplets, and Golden Lord. Not too bad of a hand. Um, he has Eldland, so he could really get into his Eldritch engine. And it looks like Richard opened Ice Dragon's Prison, Invocation, Maximus, Cosmic Cyclone, and Nadir Servant. Honestly, not the greatest hand because he doesn't really have a way into Alistair. And without Alistair, it might just be very, very hard to actually, push through plays. So let's see. Jude goes ahead and starts off his turn by using first Eldland. Goes ahead and adds Conquistador. And yeah, he goes ahead and just sets 2 and passes. So he doesn't use Lord to send his old land. I guess he just wanted to just set the 2 cards, and hopefully the droplets could send the Haquero from hand to grave, and that might just be enough for him to get into Sanguine.
yeah, probably he knows he's gonna face this kind of deck. He probably he has some infos about his opponent deck. That's why it shows like a more conservative approach, and that's why he didn't set any interruption now. Richard starts with Nadir, which get ashed, and I think it's probably gonna pass now. He's gonna set Ice Dragon Prison, Cosmic, and Impermanence, and he passes the turn.
Yeah, now I wonder if Jude's gonna go ahead and play Conquistador here on the end phase just to get into Sanguine. The Ash really did help here to stop the Nadir, especially since Richard didn't have Alistair or anything like that. So yep, he goes ahead and he plays Conquistador, and he draws Thoroughblade for turn, so he's playing the Zodiac cards in his deck. And now he's gonna go ahead and use Cursed Eldland, which is gonna be met with Cosmic Cyclone, which is huge for Richard. Now he's going to go ahead and use Golden Lord effect to send Ice Dragons to the grave. But Richard goes ahead and use Ice Dragon Prison to reborn the Lord and get rid of the Conquistador. So that was huge for Richard. Now Jude looks like he's going to go ahead and summon Thoroughblade, summon Vorbo, and attack for 1600. Main phase 2, he summons Chuck and I, summons Tiger Motor, and goes straight into Zeus. And he goes ahead and uses Zeus's effect to send the Impermanence and the Droplets to the grave. And during the end phase, he'll use Haquero to set Sanguine. And it's not looking really good for Richard.
Richard, in fact, top deck Ash, and this looks like a very dead turn. Like he's gonna pass now. Probably I would set Invocation to force the Zeus and see what happens.
And nope.
No, he doesn't.
Doesn't? Goes ahead and ashes the Sanguine. So now he goes ahead and he puts the Zeus in attack, attacks for 3000, and I would just assume that he's gonna go ahead and use Sanguine and call it a turn. Unfortunate for Drew to draw a card like Gamma here. Very dead right now.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm seeing a Gamma less played in this last LCS because it's not like a card you want to draw and you want very active end trap. So when you play a control decks, I don't really feel like Gamma is a good card to play, at least in the main deck. Maybe in the side going second because it's always alive.
Yeah, especially in this deck, Nash, because like Gamma just doesn't really do too much in this deck, especially with, like the restriction of Sanguine, and I feel like you always have monsters on board except for turn 1 with this deck,
Hmm?
It just doesn't seem as good. So
yeah, it doesn't seem good.
Yeah, I definitely
agree. Let's see what does Richard the top. Okay. Ooh, top deck Ecclesia doesn't look too bad. He will special summon Ecclesia. Ecclesia will probably add Fleur-de-Lis. Yeah, he adds Fleur-de-Lis in this scenario. He used Fleur-de-Lis to force the Zeus in this specific situation. Yeah, but he's gonna pass, I think, right now.
He has to summon Fleur de Lis so he can clear the Zeus. But either
Mhm.
way, Aquaro's probably gonna go ahead and set Sanguine, and he's probably just gonna summon Lord for game.
Mhm.
Yep, that's exactly what happens. He summons Lord, and yep, he attacks for game. So it looks like Jude takes game 1. So
Mhm.
Jude's playing Eldritch Zodiac, and Richard's playing Invoked, but Richard opened just so bad that game. He opened No Way into Alistair, and honestly, that's really what cost him. Alright, so it looks like Jude's going first here. Richard must have let him go first. And his opening hand is pretty good. Skullmeister, Gamma, Cursed Eldland, Whiptail, and Conquistador. But Richard also opened a very good hand. Harpies, Pot of Prosperity, Nadir Servant, Alistair, and Invocation. So honestly, both players opened very strong. Unfortunately for Jude, this Gamma is pretty dead, especially if you're going first. So very well played by Richard by making Jude go first. So he plays Eldland. He sets one and he passes turn. So I guess Jude decided not to go for the Zodiac play, so he could
Mhm.
have the Gamma
Keep this
live.
Gamma.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a very good play, and it's also a very good thing the fact that Richard let his opponent go first, because Nadir Servant is very good in the control matchup when you go second, because Antis is gonna pop off for getting rid of the back rows, which could be actually an issue for Ailester. And I think now Richard is gonna normal summon Ailester. I don't think he's gonna use Feather Duster, because there is only one set and there is no real threat. When you set only one card in the Zodiac Eldritch matchup, there is no real card actually if it's not Judgment and you read your opponent is gonna let you go first. So in normal summon Ailester, how I have expected, and probably Jude is gonna chain Gamma, which does actually happen. Gamma is gonna resolve.
yep, and it looks like he misclicked.
Yeah, looks like he misclicked.
Yeah, he returned the Aquaria by accident and sent it right back to the field. So he misclicked. Goes ahead and summons Gamma, and then he goes ahead and summons Driver.
Now I use Prosperity. That's a good one because you want to see what you can do by pitching the top cards. Like there are a lot of broken cards in your deck right now, so you can actually play the game. Let's see what happens. I would probably use Invocation on the resolution by pitching a light in the graveyard. So maybe I would grab. I mean, there are only two possible choices. You can add Ice Dragon Prison, or you can add the light if you wanna go for matchup. I would probably add Ice Dragon Prison in this scenario, and then go for Invocation and then resolve Nadir. So you will have your engine going off. That's what I would do in this. Okay, so he grabs Ice Dragon Prison, puts the rest on the bottom of his deck. Then I would use Invocation to pitch the Ecclesia in my hand and banish the Ailester. He doesn't do that, actually. He decides to play a more conservative way with Maximus and Upcalon sent in graveyard by Nadir Servat, which get Schoolmeistered. I think that wasn't correct. I really think matchup on the board puts a lot of pressure on the board, and the fact you can recycle your Ailester and start your engine again. Also because the Eldritch engine does run Akero, and you know your opponent has Akero in the graveyard, and the next turn is gonna search for Lord. So I think that was a misplay from the Richard part by not using Invocation in this spot. Now he goes ahead and special summon Maximus, and Maximus will use his Ignition effect to send in the graveyard Ash Dragon and Antis, and Jude send instead the Psy Frame Omega, which is actually very good in this against this kind of deck, because now he can get rid of the Eilester in graveyard, and now Richard get hard punished for misplay. Okay, so Antis send the Eldland. Eldland triggers and sends Akero in the graveyard. Doesn't look good for Richard, which only sets Ice Dragon Prison and will probably pass the turn, with Jude being able to use the Akero in the graveyard to set Sanguine. He uses Ash Dragon to add Fleur de Lis by special summoning Ecclesia. Yeah.
Yep, and on end phase he goes ahead and uses Aquero to set Sanguine. And we know that Jude has a Whiptail that can pretty much make a Zeus. So, but he's probably gonna get stopped by Fleur de Lis, which means ooh, okay, so he draws Barrage. So he turns Whiptail into Borbo. He attacks Maximus and banishes it from the game. Summons Dryden. Uses Dryden, and that's very interesting. Don't you think, Nesh, that he uses Dryden here to pop the Ecclesia, even though he knows his opponent has Ice Dragon's Prison because he added off Prosperity.
Yeah. Yes. I think they both didn't play correctly. Richard didn't use the invocation, and now Jude is not playing around Ice Dragon Prison. That's how I wouldn't play the game, to be honest.
Yep. And now Jude just got super rewarded for drawing Barrage here, because honestly, like, he didn't really need the Barrage here if he just played correctly. He could have just made Zeus directly, and now it looks like Jude can go ahead and summon Zeus and clear the field. But before using Zeus effect, he's going to go ahead and use Omega to shuffle back the Alistair, which will make Richard's invocation dead. So you could see Richard getting punished for his last play. And now Jude's going to go ahead and use Zeus effect to send. And on end phase, he's going to use both the traps that he just sent to the grave to set Isidore and Sanguine. So not really looking too good for Richard. Richard
Like the Cosmic Cyclone, which is
Yep.
a very pretty bad top deck right now.
Yep.
And looks like the game is, all you can do is just using Ecclesia, set punishment. Your opponent will probably use Zeus, and I think he has game on board the next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Yes. Yeah, that's over.
Yeah. He drew a Zoo, so at this point he could just go Zoo into Thoroughblade, summon Thoroughblade, summon Chuckanai, summon Tiger Motor equipped with Tiger Motor, and then he could summon Lord and then just attack for game. If he uses Lord, and yep, Richard admits defeat. So Jude is going to go ahead and move on to top 4. Richard unfortunately took a loss to the Zodiac Eldritch deck. There's a lot of different plays I think Richard could have done differently. He probably could have just put Macabre early on the field, and that could have probably just got him there. But instead, he decides to go for the Dogmatica package. And honestly, we could still see that the Dogmatica package isn't really the strongest. The real thing that makes the Dogmatica package good, in my opinion, is definitely the Shadal cards. And I think we've seen that a lot. Like, we just featured a few Dogmatica invoked, and a lot of the decks pretty much just struggled with the same thing, and it's just the Dogmatica engine just doesn't do enough, especially without the Shadal cards.
Yeah. When you see punishment sending up column, it brings you like very good feelings, and you advance your game state in a way which can allows you to push for game 2 turns later. So also lock your opponent.
Yeah, but still, congrats to Richard for getting this far, and honestly, congrats to Jude for moving on to top 4 with the Zodiac deck. Very, very strong deck. We've seen it played in the past, and I guess this is a perfect time to play it, right? So Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Like now, now without BFD, without S0, the Zeus has a very, very, very high impact on the meta right now.
Especially the Zoo Eldritch cards, like the Eldritch cards being able to float. Zoo allow you to make Zeus, and Zeus is still just very strong card, you know. So yeah, well, very well played by Jude.
Yeah.
Very good choice by Jude as well. So yeah, guys, that does it for this one, and yeah, see you.